Wonder Woman issue number 8. That's right, folks. Last issue, we took a little break to head to an intergalactic space mall, buy a gift for our old friend Batman, but we're back at it. Because before that, in issue 6, Wonder Woman was kind of taken down by the Sovereign, and they were going to do stuff to her. And if this covers any indication, that stuff is not going to be great. I really like this cover. I just kind of want to talk about it for a minute. I really like the way it's highlighting the blues and the reds on both the character of Wonder Woman and on the King of America or whatever. It really strikes a really cool visual. And I just really like when they are still willing to portray Wonder Woman as a character wrapped in some sort of bondage. This one's not as extreme as we've seen in other books, but I like what we're seeing here. Because this issue, it's just exactly what I want from a Wonder Woman book. It's the thing I've been really clamoring for more of when it comes to Tom King's run, which is just him being like, men want her to be a certain way, and she'll never be that. And I love that. Because this issue opens up with a lie. It is like a 1950s American kitchen. Wonder Woman is in like a beautiful dress. Her hair is pinned up. She is not doing a good job of cooking the roast for her husband, and he's just distracted, reading the newspaper, smoking a cigar. It's Steve, the male figure in her life, who is probably the most that she would marry in whatever world, I don't know. And she's like, this doesn't feel right. I messed up the cooking. Oh, dang it. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going out with the boys tonight, honey, and they'll probably have better cooking there because you're clearly doing a bad job at this. We cut that with the stuff happening in reality, because of course it's fake. Wonder Woman would never be a housewife. We know that for a fact. She's actually tied up, bloodied, and bleeding by the Lasso of Lies, and we start hearing like prophecies from the Bible, and it's just like, women are just subjects to men. That's all they'll ever be. A husband is the head of a wife, just as Christ is the head of a church, or a sovereign is the head of a nation. Amazing. I really like that small detail. It's not only like a big thing that this book is portraying, but this issue in particular, it's like the King of America. What's going to be the King of America's primarily like religious belief? Just Christianity. Wonder Woman contradicts Christianity, and it comes up more in this issue, just of like Jesus as a person, as like a godly being, and how that like disproves Diana as a godly being. It's so interesting. And the colors between like the fake domestic bliss and just like the stark darkness of her being strung up. It's everything I want in a Wonder Woman book. So Steve hates the food. It's a little rough, not really good cooking. And Diana's like, well, I'm not going to eat it anyways, honey. I'm trying to watch my figure. And he's like, huh? Yeah? You seeing someone behind my back? Just already insane. Just the worst stuff you've ever seen. And Steve's like, well, this was stupid. I'm just going to go out with the boys now. She's like, well, what time will you be back? I'm going to miss you. And he's like, geez, woman, get off my back. What's with all this nagging? You're that woman now? Suddenly you'd have to it's so obvious, but that's the point. It is just the opposite of what Wonder Woman has been throughout her entire conception. And we love to see that. And when we come back to like the reality, and you just have the King of America sitting in a chair, he's got his like leash tied up around her. It's the Lasso of Lies, but it looks like a leash. It's really disturbing. And he's just kind of like goes on a speech about like how there's actually less subtlety to it when he's talking about like a dog he had and how the dog learned to like stick out its belly to get treats because it knew its betters were talking to it, essentially telling Diana like, stick out your belly and you'll get what you want because you're a submissive dog and I control you and I control everything. And she is not succumbing to the lasso at all. It's kind of getting to her, but it's never going to fully get to her because she's Wonder Woman, of course. And he pours his wine on her head. And we just get back to the fake reality where she's just, the domestic housewife. She's vacuuming everything, and she starts to realize, this is weird. This isn't normal. This isn't who I am. I'm not a kept woman. I'm not bound by any man. This isn't right. And she throws the vacuum out the window. Another act of her rebelling, like, I'm breaking through this illusion. This isn't who I am. I can get out of this. We want to see her get out of it. It's amazing. And some more bullshit about just like Corinthians 14:34-35, women should be kept silent in churches, just stuff like that. And as that's being said, it's depicting a sleeping, in air quotes, Diana as Steve comes back from his long day, and he's just like lying in bed. He goes straight to sleep, but she's restless because, no, it's not shameful for a woman to speak in church. She starts to realize, like, this is not how things should be. This all sounds stupid. Now, we intercut all of the stuff with Diana to go hang out with our Wonder Girls for a minute, and we see that Donna is just tying like a band around Cassie's eyes. She's getting ready to fire an arrow, and you see that Yara's putting the arrow on top of Sergeant Steele's head, because they're going to shoot an arrow at him. And he just freaks out, completely submits. Cassie just misses hitting his dick. It is so funny. She's like, dang it, that wasn't even close. All right, let's try again. And Yara's like, no, you had fun. You were cheating. It's my turn now. I want to try shooting this guy the apple off his head. It's hilarious. And then we cut to the next day in like the fake illusion of Diana and Steve. She's trying to cook eggs, but she didn't have a good night, so she's kind of restless and nothing's really coming along. Steve's like, I don't got time for this, Diana. I gotta get to work. Where are my damn eggs? These are runny and shit. These suck. These are terrible eggs. You can't do anything right. What's wrong with you? Oh, and she's just like, Steve, you're not listening to me. She's snapping out of the illusion. She is slowly snapping out of the illusion. You love to see that. Because these are neither of these characters. Diana is not this person, and Steve is not this person. And she's just like, this is never my reality. And we cut back to see, what's the King of America got to say about a couple things? Why do you think God sent his only son to save us? Why not his only daughters, you know? If you were truly a god, or like the son of a god, you'd be a son, because there's only one God, and it's God himself, not whatever, hoity-toity thing you're believing in or what you're from. That's not God. You know, you're not Jesus, and you'll never be Jesus because you're a woman, and Jesus can only be a man. It's not like Jesus is a metaphor that could represent anything in spirituality or something like that. Jesus is a dude. He's a bloke that exists, and you're just some girl. You need to be a submissive dog. But you'll never be anything more than a girl. And women are just daughters, and they're nothing. And daughters can't lead people. There's no daughters of God. Like, what is a woman gonna do? It's so obvious. But that's what King is implying here. Like, he wants to talk about some specific things about religion. I can't be mad at him for that. I think it's a great use, because we don't really, like, paint Diana in that light, talking about other religions. And the King of America, of course, that character would be Christian. Like, I think it's a very interesting thing to play with. So then back in the fake reality, Diana's kind of like weeping because her husband hates her. And she's like, I'm more than a wife, I'm a daughter. And then her mom appears. She's like, yeah, you're a daughter. You're a cool, badass lady. Is Hippolyta still dead in the continuity? I think she is. But she's like, look, daughter, you are so much stronger than this. You know, this is not you. Nothing about this reality is you. And I remember, like, the young girl who, like, won the tournament and left the island, and you went against everything I said, and so that makes you even better than me. And because you are somebody who goes on your own, you do your own thing, you are Wonder Woman. You are always going to be Wonder Woman. You don't have to give in to the crap that other people do. You make your own rules. You exist in your own bubble. You know, I always told you that you cannot break the rope. The lasso of lies cannot be broken. But when did you ever believe me? And she's like, oh. And she breaks through the lasso. And you're like, hell yeah. Just starts beating him up, and it's just like the coolest thing you've ever seen. You love to see it. She starts to strangle him. Hell yeah. That's what we're here for. But that's what we want to see. That's what a classic Wonder Woman book should be to me. Talking about religion, whatever one you want to talk about, probably like the Olympic gods or whatever. Wonder Woman breaking through of bondage and just attacking a dumb man. That's what a Wonder Woman book should be. And that's what we're doing here. And in the fake reality, like, she leaves a note for Steve saying, my mother came to visit. I'm going with her. I'm not coming back. I hate you. I hate all of this. The house is a little messy, too. I think you're going to need a new vacuum because I I kind of threw out the other one out the window, and it's great. We see that there's like a SWAT team coming in to try to take her down. It ain't gonna work because she broke their toys, and they don't have another one, so she's still gonna win in the end because that's what she does. Yeah, that's badass. That's what you love to see. That is the best energy we've seen for this book. I love all of that. Imperi's artwork is still incredible. I love the coloring of this book. It was really sharp in this one between the two worlds we are seeing. The fake one where everything is like the 1950s Americana, mixed with just like a broken, bleeding woman being choked by like gray rope. It's so cool. So cool to see that. I love it so much. And like with every issue, we get the backup with the Trinity, with Wonder Girl. John and Damien are just chilling. You know, Damien was supposed to help Lizzie with her homework, and since he doesn't know anything about like the feudal Japan era, he gave her like a time sphere to go back and figure it out herself. And that's what she does. She just heads back in time. She meets a samurai, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Wonder Girl. Can we talk and I can learn stuff about you for my history lesson?" And then in the present, you just see Damien and John are freaking out because every time she interacts with this samurai in the past, they change into new costumes in the present. They become cowboys, they become monkeys, they go to space, they become like Lex and the Joker. They're just freaking out. But everything is going to work out in the end because it's Wonder Girl. She's going to make friends along the way. She's literally going to lead an army into war. It's so great. And it's so much fun. And that's what happens. She's like, "Guys, guess what? I'm a samurai. There's no way I'm going to fail this report now." It's so cute. I love this. This is great energy. It's the kind of fun thing that you love to see. This book just continues to impress me on every single account. I don't know if it's my favorite issue of the run, but everything it did is exactly the kind of thing I look for in a Wonder Woman book. It's exactly the type of thing I love that plays with the trope of what you should be to a relationship with a man and with God and all that kind of stuff. It uses a lot of different types of religion against itself, and I think that's a really cool thing to explore and talk about. That works perfectly for this Diana in this book we are setting up, that the person against her would be like, "Well, there's only one God and his name's God and Jesus is his son and you're some stupid bitch who can't do anything." That is exactly the energy that the villains of this book have been setting up against her. That's what you want to see. And the literal metaphor of breaking the glass and throwing out the vacuum, come on. It's right there. It's what you want to see. It works so well. So Wonder Woman issue number 8, I am going to give a 10 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.